would love to have a delicious conversation about belief and thought versus inner knowingness. And I think sometimes language gets confusing, and I would love to have a conversation that can clarify that at the deeper levels.
Well, in order to do this subject justice, we have to introduce at the beginning of it the concept of momentum.
Yes.
Because the intensity of a thought, in other words, when you think a thought, you could think a thought of something that you desire, and then you could think a thought of the absence of it. We wouldn't call that knowing, but we would call it thought, and we would call it vibration, and we would call it energy.
Yes.
So now think both of those thoughts longer. More momentum is causing both thoughts to increase. So there's a stronger vibration and a bigger wobble and more emotion, more negative emotion in that case, but we still wouldn't call it knowing. So the distinction that we would make about knowing is that it's a thought that's wobble-free. Now, to be fair, in the human vernacular, in the way you are defining words, it's fair to say that you can really know things that are negative beliefs. In other words, a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. But when we use the term knowing, when we say knowing, we mean alignment with what the larger part of you knows to be.
Yes.
It's the realization of that true knowledge, that true understanding. And it's important to understand that knowing is also expanding. So let's just make the distinction, just the overall distinction between beliefs and knowing, that knowing is accompanied by source, and
Amen.
knowing is without the wobble. And beliefs are differing degrees of wobbling.
Yes.
Sometimes a belief really wobbles. Sometimes a belief serves you better. But when you truly know, when it moves into what we are calling knowing, we would say you're in full conjunction with Source and it is wobble-free. That's easy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. And I wanted to share this thought about the path. I'm on a path of blessed goodness, taking me to all that I have become.
We like it a lot. We would add two things. We would call it an eternal path, and we would say all that I am becoming.
Actively.
Because there's no ending to it, and the what you're discovering and your experiencing even in this forum is that the best parts are the parts where we all move forward together. In other words, this is not a conversation where we've got it all figured out and we're just waiting for you dummies to catch up. It's not like that at all. It isn't like that at all. It's that what you bring to the party and what we bring to the party takes us all to more knowing. Yeah.
Yes.
Really good.
May I ask one more?
Yeah.
I have found sharing my gift of singing and songwriting to be right in that vortex, right in that space of alignment. And I somehow have this other part of it, that is playing guitar, that I'm constantly in battle with. I picture
Soften that. Take the word constant out of it first.
Okay.
In other words, how can anything change when you believe it that strongly?
I talk myself out of picking up my guitar each day, or...
Well, why would you play the guitar anyway? Do you like it?
To accompany myself, to be more independent in sharing my songs with others.
Well, that's all fine, but do you like it?
I like it when I'm playing well. I like the freedom of it.
But there's something really important. Let's talk about this. So when you're playing well, now that automatically integrates the way others perceive you. what we really want to know is that a pleasurable thing to do? Is it fun? Is it fun to pick your way along? Is it fun to evolve? Is it fun to expand? Is it fun to get better? In other words, because if the process isn't fun, then why would anyone do it?
Mm-hmm.
And so the pleasure factor is the thing that we want you to focus upon, not the result factor. That's everything that we're talking about here. That's the perfect conversation to have about everything that we're talking about here. In other words, so people practice an instrument in order to get good enough that others will enjoy it. But there are a lot of...
You've hit it.
But do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it on your own? Do you enjoy it? Or are you self-critical? And are you self-critical because you're comparing yourself to others, or because of the way others feel about it? In other words, can't you play it? You certainly can play it in a simple enough format to accompany yourself. In other words, there are all kinds of people playing guitar at different levels and with different styles and different intentions. We know for sure that you can play it in a way that is pleasurable, that sounds good, that is satisfying. And so that play it to please yourself. And we know what you're getting at.
Yes.
But there's always, this is something really good to talk about. So in striving for excellence, let's say that your dominant intent, it's a path of excellence that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Not the delicious path that you described. It's a path of excellence. I'm on the path of perfection. I'm on the path of perfection, and therefore no one must ever hear me play guitar. I'm on the path of... Or are you on the path of expansion, eternal expansion, the path of discovery, self-discovery? In other words, you just have to decide why you're doing the things that you're doing. Almost everyone is doing things for the wrong reasons. You hear people say, and it's really accurate conversation, most don't mean it when they say it, but it's nice when they do. Find something that you love to do and do it, and everything important to you will be the path to your door.
Mm-hmm.
Find something that you enjoy doing and do it. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then find something that you do enjoy and do it, or find a way to enjoy what you're doing. Find a way to enjoy what you're doing is the path of least resistance. Find a way to enjoy what you're doing. So if you're waiting until, that's like Esther won't go to the beach because she doesn't have a tan. She can't get a tan unless she goes to the beach. So she and the beach have a standoff.
Yes, you're right.
And so
where I am, yes.
Something's got to give. You just got to decide that if you're going to you got to get out in the sun. Yeah, same thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good.